that game that
Silent.
we really we really like?
I I think it's called Silent Hills Hill
Muted
with
Mound?
Quiet Rock.
Anti noise mountain.
Antisocial lump.
Today we'll be talking about Silent Hill. More specifically, we'll be going over the beautiful creation of it
History.
and the history of it. We'll be more focused, obviously, on the story elements, but
Yeah.
we will be primarily focused on how great of a fucking game it is, because God, it's good.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send this link out. You should probably do the same.
I just actually made my teeth freeze. Uh, yeah. Um. So
Yeah, grab that link.
yeah, I got it. So pretty much, Silent Hill was created uh, by Konami, and we both love it. And we thought, for Halloween, what should we talk about other than the game that makes me shit myself every now and then? I mean, not shit myself.
Okay, small problem.
Hmm.
Instagram's not letting me change my bio.
Shit. That is a small problem. It's a big problem, actually.
Uh,
Can you post a story for it?
yeah, but I can't attach a link to the story.
No, I thought you can. You could put like a link, right? Like there's like a little link thing.
Is there? Is there a link sticker? I'm such a boomer. I don't quite know how.
God, fucking boomer.
I don't see a link.
Like you need to just like post a picture and then like. Oh no, that's like tagging your business partner. Fuck.
Yeah, fuck.
Shit.
Maybe I could send it out.
Yeah, just send it
Um,
out. I swear we're professional. Um.
Absolutely professional.
Uh. So we're just basically gonna talk about the history of Silent Hill, not the not like the way it was created completely, but more like what the fuck happened with Silent Hill. Why does Silent Hill go from like ooh.
Why Silent Hill Homecoming?
We don't talk about that.
Okay, so I it's oh, it did change the link.
So we figured it out.
Yeah, it says that it couldn't, but it can.
Boomers figuring shit out. We're great.
Much like the little train that could.
I always knew we could.
What if it just ran out of steam halfway through? It was like, I can't.
I would
That's
have
how it
cried.
ends. Never
You
actually
ever watch
seen.
that? You ever watch that video of like it's like kiwi or whatever, and it's a little kiwi bird, and he's like,
Is it the one where he's like running away from all the predators?
no. It's the one where he's like making like
He's
this
trying to meet
cliff.
Chris Hansen.
No. It's the one where he's like he's on the cliff, right, and like he's like making it so that the cliff looks like it's like a forest, and so like he jumps off the cliff, and when he jumps off the cliff he like pretends like he's flying, like he flaps his like his arms or his little wings,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then like all you hear is that, and his little body just
You ever see that video of the monkey raping that dead or that frog, like keeping like, yeah,
what?
Yeah, it used the frog's mouth as a fleshlight
Oh
and
my
kept it
god.
alive. Yeah, it's horrible.
He
It
kept it
does it for like,
alive?
yeah. And the
Oh
frog
my.
like keeps trying to run away, and then the monkey grabs and is like, "No,
No.
I'm not finished."
I've seen like videos of like monkeys like I think there was like this one video like this it wasn't a video, it was a audio recording of this
Oh, I know what you're
lady
talking about.
had like a pet chimpanzee or whatever.
Yeah, and it tears her face off.
It tore her friend's face off.
Yeah, like what do you expect? You have a fucking wild animal as a pet. Of course,
Like
whenever it
he
goes
was well behaved.
bananas, you're not gonna be able to control it.
He was like really well behaved, and then like all of a sudden like fucking bananas. The monkey's like "Argh!" He went ape shit.
Literally.
He started flinging shit at her and shit.
And then he fucking tore her face off.
I don't remember what it was, but I don't know why, but like every time I look back on that story, I think like for some reason he had a gun at one point and he's like just started shooting.
Yeah, chimps are horrifying, and Planet of the Apes is just a documentary in the making.
Like people are gonna look at Planet of the Apes of like how they act, like the ape evolution actually
Yeah,
went.
apes are going to use it as inspiration. They're going to look at the past couple movies and they're going to be all like, yeah, these are pretty okay. So what if we did it?
Wasn't there? I think there was like a gorilla who like sign languaged or something. Like he could like sign language.
In the first one, and then it turns into them like one of them can talk by
Yeah,
the
like
end of the series. They're good movies. I do
they are.
enjoy the
Yeah,
new Planet of the Apes. I thought they were pretty okay.
I think there's like
I think
some moments where they're kind of bad, but like overall
maybe
they're
a
pretty
little
good.
maybe a little overrated, but
Yeah.
definitely definitely better than a lot of stuff that has come out in theaters.
Yeah.
Speaking of theaters,
Hmm.
um Silent Hill Downpour has one really good part in it that's like a puzzle, and it's really really spooky where you're in a theater and you're recreating a play, and
Really?
you're like, yeah, you're like going through it whenever you set it up, and like the world turns into the play, so it's all like rainy and shit, and it's like some creepy Hansel and Gretel shit, and it's like
Oh my
genuinely
god.
scary.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, Silent Hill Downpour has some good scares in it.
I think the only
Unpopular opinion.
like real like scare I've ever had in Silent Hill was playing Silent Hill 2, and I was playing it with my girlfriend at the time, and like we were having a great time, and she was like fucking pissing herself because she all she heard was the radio static, because you know how they have like the
Yeah.
hey, radio static means there's a monster ready to fuck your butt. And
If you turn the radio static off, you don't get spotted as easy.
really?
Yep, and your flashlight.
Oh yeah, no, actually I remember there was like a thing in the Silent Hill movie where it's like the nurses like followed that one chick because she had like the flashlight on, and then like she left the flashlight by like behind herself, and then the nurses were just like, "Whoa, holy shit, is this light?"
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it was like I think this is like the second or first encounter you have with Pyramid Head, but like you know how like when you enter the hospital you get to this moment where like all the static just cuts out. Like there's no radio static whatsoever.
Yeah.
That shit made me feel like really like uncomfortable, but also made me like have this sigh of relief because it's like there's no more monsters.
Yeah, but then you're like, alright, but what's next?
Yeah, but what's next? And I get eventually I get to this point where like okay, I'm going through and there is static again, but I get to the roof. I'm pretty sure this is the hospital, but I get to the roof and there's no more static. There's no static whatsoever. I don't hear any static. And then
I know it's coming.
like yeah, no, I'm like I don't trust this. So I'm like expecting like a shit ton of enemies to just come out, but like I just look around and I'm like, okay, I find this shit, and then like I'm in this little area between like one wall and another wall, and then behind me is like this or in front of me is like a chain link fence, and then like all of a sudden I get this cutscene, and all I see is fucking James like turn around and he's like, oh hey, oh,
For some reason, I
that's
imagine
a knife
James.
on the ground. And like Pyramid Head just all you hear is the static and the knife grinding on the ground, and like Pyramid Head just like throws him like off the fucking the
Yeah, yeah, the
building.
roof.
Yeah, like that made me actually scared because it was like holy shit.
Speaking of roofs, development on Silent Hill started in September 1996. The game was created by Team Silent, a group of staff members within the Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo studio. Konami sought to produce a game that would be successful in the United States. For this reason, a Hollywood-like atmosphere was used for Silent Hill, which was much like the first Resident Evil.
Hmm.
Um, the staff members that were assigned were like previous failures, and
Yeah, it was
didn't
like
really have a lot of
I remember
experience.
I remember like some of the members that were in there though. Like I think Nakey Jakey talked about him. He did the FMVs all by himself, I
Hmm.
think,
Yep,
and
every single one of them by
like
himself.
the dude originally like taught all of the people like how to do like FMVs and all that, and like he never really got his acknowledgement for doing all those FMVs by him, or not FMVs but teaching people how to do it, and he never really got credit for anything. And like there was some talk about like they wanted to push someone onto him so that they could take the credit for what he does
Yep,
and
pretty
also
much.
monitor him. Yeah.
Um, all of the people there pretty much had intended to leave Konami,
Hmm.
um, because they weren't allowed to realize their own ideas,
Hmm.
and were not compatible with the company's other teams. According
Basically, it was a
to
sweat
Akira
camp.
Yamaoka, which is the
It's
developer of the sound
yeah.
developer, he did the sound.
I wanna talk about the sound after you're done because
Actually, go ahead and
God.
talk about sound. This is a
Okay,
really good time to switch in.
I fucking love the soundtrack, the sound design, everything related to sound to Silent Hill. One through, I don't really want to say four, but one through three, just everything about it. Like if Spotify had the entire soundtrack for Silent Hill, I would buy Spotify Premium just to like listen to it for hours on
Um,
end. Cause like, God, it's so good. It's so good. Like,
you know what?
mhm.
Uh, okay, so Silent Hill Origin soundtrack is on there, Silent Hill Homecoming soundtrack, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, and then Silent Hill Revelations 3D. Okay,
I
so
I wanted
Shattered
silent.
Memories has a fantastic soundtrack.
I wanted one
But
through four or three.
they all of these have a good soundtrack because they're all made by Akira Yamaoka.
Yamaoka.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, so they're all really great.
yeah. Like, okay. One of the things I watched earlier today was a video. I forget the name of the guy, but I'll probably like find out his name like later and just be like, oh, there it is. But like I'm a fucking boomer. But like no, it's like God, like the way he talked about it is a lot of the scare came from the music for uh for Silent Hill. Like for instance, like you know how like the soundtrack is, right? Like how it's very like uncomfortable, like it doesn't feel
It's a
right.
lot of it's a lot of very mechanical sounds and droning.
Yeah.
It's more like an ambient music
Yeah.
than later Silent Hill. Like Silent Hill 2 has a very rock aesthetic because
Hmm.
he started experimenting with electric guitars and stuff.
Yeah. No, like I mean he still has those like good songs in there, but
Oh
for the
God,
most
yeah,
part like
Jesus
when you're
Christ.
when you're just in an area like you really hear like that fucking like uncomfortable music, in my opinion. Like I really feel uncomfortable when I listen to the music, but God, it helps me sleep for some reason. Like I have listened to the same like 7 hour and a half like soundtrack or Silent Hill ambience on YouTube for the past like few months, and it has like helped me go to sleep every time. But like it's so good, like I can't believe it. But not only that, like the way they talked about like the sound design, I think it was Akira Yamaoka said this. He said like we really wanted the horror to play in, or the sound to play into the horror, because we wanted moments where it's completely silent and it stays silent until it isn't, and that's when like the monster arrives, and that's when you see the monster. And the way he wanted it to be is like you have that radio static just as a way to sort of um, tell you that a monster is nearby, but it doesn't tell you what monster is nearby. You have to get close enough until that monster, like, you can already see it. And then that's when you know what the monster is. So you don't know
Yeah.
if, like, the static you're approaching is, like, Pyramid Head or whatever.
Well, the team used that. The team introduced the okay, so let me let me try to phrase this. It was they were going for trying to appeal to like a player's emotions.
I think that was Silent Hill 2, right?
S- all of them.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they introduced the fear of the unknown, was to
Mm-hmm.
try to like scare you more. Well, not only that, but I believe the fog is literally was just a thing because the PlayStation 1 like couldn't
It
render
had
long
limitations,
distances.
couldn't really,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
So then the fog became like a big part of the story.
Yeah. Like,
Which is fucking hilarious to me that a technical limitation became like
it's
a
such a
staple.
trademark, yeah.
Yeah, in a series.
I feel I feel like the saddest part is like even though that fog is like such a important part of the series, or like a staple, it's like Silent Hill 4 doesn't really have much of that fog. I don't even think Silent Hill 3 has much of it either, which is actually.
Yes, it does. Silent Hill
It
3
does?
does. Yes.
I thought it was just like darkness or something.
No, you go because for the first chunk of that game, you don't even play in Silent Hill,
Mm-hmm.
and and then you go to Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know, like that fog though. I okay, so I'm gonna go off a little bit from Silent Hill. There is another game that kind of makes me love fog and also kind of scared of fog at the same time. Uh, I played Persona 4 when I was. I didn't. I played it like in grade
Persona
school.
4 was very foggy.
Yeah, I played it in grade school, but I also played it a little bit more in middle school, and that's when I really like. I got really into it. Um, just to say this, because like without context, it really makes no sense why I would be scared with it. Whenever fog rolls in on Persona 4, a person dies. So basically, combining Silent Hill and my understanding of the fog in Silent Hill, my recent watch history of what was it, The Mist, the movie by Stephen King with the
Yeah,
yeah
the Stephen King movie
yeah
slash book or
book,
mini short story.
like The Mist, and not knowing what the fuck is in the mist or the fog or whatever, and then also having like this on top of it like made me like absolutely terrified of fog, especially dense fog. Like dense fog makes me even more terrified than anything else, because it's like what the fuck is out there? I don't know if I could walk out there and then there'd be a giant mosquito bug or
Yeah,
Bosch
I like my
painting.
fog dense.
My fog. But yeah, like no, like fucking the Silent Hills, like just fog is just amazing. I think the mist and fog just make it like terrifying because you don't see what's out there.
Exactly, and
So
that's the whole fear of the unknown thing,
yeah,
being a big part of the games and in other media, which
yeah,
we'll talk about later.
like oh my god, just imagine though, like if I don't really know if Silent Hill has like a H.P. Lovecraft type style, really. But imagine if like that same shit was in there, like H.P. Lovecraft type, like just monsters. Like you have Cthulhu coming out of the lake in Silent
Uh,
Hill.
Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth on PC and original Xbox.
I'll have to like see about getting those because I don't know. Like, fuck, I haven't
It's
played those. I haven't like
there's
so.
only one that's really great. Oh well, there is a new one, kind of
Yeah,
on
no,
the PlayStation Store, but it's a different style of game. It's not like the other one.
isn't it still like a dialogue heavy though?
It the Yeah, it's very dialogue heavy, but the second or the first one, the original, was dialogue heavy, but it also had like shooting and shit. This new one's kind of like a walking simulator, kind of not.
Like Amnesia, but
Yeah,
with
yeah, but with
dialogue.
no hiding.
Yeah. Um.
Maybe we can do something with that sometime.
Yeah, we definitely
Because
gotta do
I'm blind whenever it comes to that game. I didn't really watch anything on it.
that. Yeah. So unlike most games during its time, Silent Hill actually changed things up. Really brought the every your average Joe, basically, to the limelight. Most games during the time, like you had like Chris or Leon from like Resident Evil or whatever.
Leon!
Leon, help! You had Chris or Leon and Claire and all them, and they all had basic like military experience in some way or another. Uh, but Silent Hill really like just brought in this everyday guy into an awful situation. The I think that was Harry Mason. That's the main character.
Yeah, a fun fact about Harry Mason, he's the worst rendered character model in that entire game.
Really?
He is the lowest detailed in-game character model.
I did not know that actually. That's
Yeah,
actually
his hands are like fucking meat clubs.
like I know his hands are
They
like
look like polygonal nightmares.
I know his hands are like little like Mr. Crab
It looks like
claws,
yeah,
but
it looks
like
like something out of fucking Bikini Bottom IRL. It's all mutated and shit.
Mr. Krabs is actually Harry Mason. He's like, "Where's me money?
Where's me daughter?
SpongeBob, me boy, my daughter's gone missing, and by daughter I mean money." Um, Harry Mason was like just an average everyday guy. I think he had like an adopted daughter too. Um,
Uh, are you doing that purposely?
huh? Yeah,
The adopted daughter thing? Okay.
yeah. Um,
I, I really had to clarify because I was about to get genuinely mad. I was
um.
I was about to come to Texas and beat the fuck out of you.
I'm not looking at my notes right now, by the way. I actually should whip out my notes. Freaking, I'm stupid. So basically, what happens is at the town's edge, he swerves to avoid hitting another little girl who's actually his daughter the entire time. His daughter got out of the car, got in front
His
of him at Mach speed, said,
his
"Hit me,
daughter
Dad!"
too. His daughter too, Electric Boogaloo.
So as a
It's
result, he
it's actually just Claire from Resident Evil.
he
Wait,
swerves
did
and
I say
crashes.
Claire? Is Claire a Resident Evil character?
Claire Redfield.
Yeah. Okay, I meant Jill though.
Jill.
You became a Jill fucking sandwich.
I'll make you into a sandwich. Um,
I'd like to eat your meaty sandwich.
so basically, he swerved to avoid hitting
Good
the
job.
girl, and as a result, he crashed, and he lost consciousness. Uh,
He was all like, "Ow, my head! I
Ow,
need to
me
take a nap."
head! My head hurts so bad.
They get into a crash, and both him and Sherry are both still awake. And he looks over at Sherry, and he's like,
Get the
he
fuck out
looks
of the
over at
car.
Sherry. No, and he's like, "Dad's gonna take a nap now."
He's like, no, like this is what happened. He woke back up and he's like, Sherry, what are you? You're supposed to get out of the car and go fucking, I don't know, get kidnapped or some shit. Your dad's like knocked out. Come on. I'll get back in position if I see you in the car. I swear to God, I'm beating you tonight.
You have to go not exist.
Yeah. Go get kidnapped by that cult lady over there. Look, she looks really friendly, right? Um.
You want to dye your hair blonde too?
Yeah. So I love this about the games too. The game has like 5 endings, and there's always one joke ending for most games.
It usually involves a
A
UFO.
UFO, yeah. I think wasn't one like I don't know if this was also the UFO one, but there's like a dog or
Yes.
something. It's like
That's in Silent Hill
Mira.
2 as well. That's in Silent Hill 2 as well.
Yeah.
And so is
Like
the UFO ending.
God, I fucking love that ending because it's like in Silent Hill 2, like fucking James just sees the dog and he's like, "What the fuck?"
He's like, this entire thing has been a game all along.
It was a fucking
This
dog.
the Sheila in you's been controlling my fate.
So basically, when he wakes up, when fucking Harry Ballsack wakes up, he finds out, oh no, my daughter is missing. I gotta go find her. And then like he gets out of the car, like in shambles and shit. He's like, fuck.
Oh,
And
ouchie!
then he
My noggin. It's a jogging.
me noggin. Um.
He gets down on his knees, puts his head between his knees, and goes. He
He
just
just
starts screaming.
he's just like frantically screaming. All the monsters are like, I don't think we should approach him, dude. Like, just go. We shouldn't approach him.
He's like, my insurance won't cover this.
He starts bashing his skull in the pavement. When he gets up, when he gets back up, his forehead is just dented in. He's like, all right,
Looks like
gotta
Glenn.
find Cheryl now, so I can claim life insurance.
And then he goes into a school and stabs a bunch of kids.
Oh my God, no! the entire game is just like none of it's really happening. Like
You're just murdering people.
he's just gone batshit crazy. Like when he goes into like when he goes into
you
the
walk into a school, you're like, I need to find my daughter. And you're like shanking children.
No, he's like, I need to find my daughter. Well, he's frantically screaming, "Where's my daughter?" While like he's grabbed a kid and he's just like stabbing him repeatedly, and the kid's like, "Why?" And the teacher's looking. The teacher's just. The teachers just look on in horror, like, "What the fuck?"
Henry looks at her for like a split second and he's like, don't you fucking dare come close to me.
Like he's sane like he's completely just sane. He knows what he's doing, but he still wants to kill them.
He looks back at her, he's like, have you seen my fucking daughter?
They say, I don't know where your daughter is, and he's like, well, you're a monster now!
You can see the mania in his eyes.
He's going fucking crazy.
He's just listened to Fall Out Boy's mania. He's like, God, I really need to stab someone.
The fucking cultists and the police officer are just crazy too.
they're all rabid Fallout Boy fans.
Okay, I wanted to actually ask this because I don't know if I know this myself. I remember hearing like something like Silent Hill is normal to the people who live in it, but for the people
Um,
who don't normally live in it, it's also like very
I've heard that, but I I don't know if I want to accept that as canon.
like I don't know either if it's like canon or not because it's like
I
I mean
think
it
there's
sounds
something more
cool.
horrifying. I think there's something more horrifying about this abandoned town
Like it's like the
that
Bermuda
draws people.
Triangle or something.
Yeah, yeah, like people just go onto the spot of the map and they just fucking disappear.
Yeah. Like yeah, no that
Everybody's
like
like, yeah, we just don't go there.
oh,
That's just
excuse
not
me.
a place we go.
Like not like that sounds like really it sounds cool, but I also am interested in the idea of like what if like there is this situation where it's like oh yeah, no, like Silent Hill is completely normal for the people who live there normally. And then like every now and then a fucking crazy dude just walks in like where the fuck is my daughter and starts stabbing the kids. Like yeah, no,
I
like
don't
it's just completely normal.
I don't want to rush us because we did say it's going to be a longer episode, but we should probably because we have quite a few games to cover.
Yeah, yeah, no. So
Like quite a few.
we're not really gonna go into much more because I don't want to spoil anything.
uh
Um,
we can go into like the ending if you have some notes about that.
I
Um
I didn't really take any notes on the ending because I was thinking we would, you know,
do we not want to spoil it?
I don't want to
I mean, the
spoil
game's
it just
like
in case.
fucking like 20 years old.
I don't want to spoil it just in case
No,
there's like some
wait,
like
hold on.
millennial who's like I've never played it.
Silent Hill 1 release date. Okay, Siri, stupid bitch. Silent Hill 1 release date. Okay, I called her a stupid bitch and now she won't answer me.
I think it was
So,
1999.
yeah. Okay, so that game is 20 if it's 1999. That game is 20 years old. If you don't know that Sherry wasn't actually real and was just a figment, and then James gets the baby back from the demon, and then that's how he gets Sherry. Then you're 20 years behind, motherfucker. I'm I'm not gonna not
Jesus.
try to spoil this game for you.
Do we wanna say the cool unique little twist
What, that
about
Sherry's
the
not real?
baby? About the baby?
Oh no, we're gonna save that until we get to the actual events
Okay.
chronologically. Okay, so are we gonna talk about Silent Hill 2 now, or are we gonna talk a little bit more about Silent Hill 1?
We can talk about Silent Hill too because I know you like it, babe. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm giggling right now.
I'm a little
Silent
girl.
Silent Hill 2 is my favorite in the series, for a lot of reasons.
hmm
Um, primarily James and the themes the game covers. It's uh, first of all, the game was released in September 2001, which is whenever uh,
9/11
the
happened. I'm sorry.
uh,
It was the first thing
well,
that came to mind.
It was September 24th, so it was like a little while. Man, it
Like
was a
13
tragedy.
days.
Yeah, 13 days after. Um,
Respect to the victims of 9/11.
it was directed by Masashi Toyota. Um,
I'm sorry. That made me. I wonder what car he drives.
a Subaru. What the fuck?
Oh, okay.
Um, okay. So Silent Hill 2 isn't actually a direct sequel to the first game. Silent Hill 2 is it's by all means
Most
its own
most Silent Hill
game.
games are separate from each other, but they do have some tie-ins that set them in the same universe, basically.
Yeah. Some people will speculate that it's not like an official, like you don't have to play one to get three, which I
hmm
disagree with for the most part. for reasons that we'll come to. But Silent Hill 2 uses a third person fixed camera angle, but also not fixed camera angle sometimes, kind of like the first
I
game.
think like when you're out in the like actual
I
town, it
I don't want to
gives.
talk about the creation of this game too much, like the direction and development.
Mhm.
I would like to
Well, for the
mention
most part, we're just talking about like.
the story.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Silent Hill 2 has a lot to go over with the story.
A lot of
Um,
symbolism.
yeah, okay, so let's talk about its setting.
Uh, to
S-
to basically start off, the story starts with James. What is it, Sunderland, right?
I was gonna talk about the setting and shit, like set everything up before we get to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so while Silent Hill 2 is not a direct sequel of the first game, it doesn't follow any of the same characters and almost shares no similarities besides a couple of plot points.
Mm-hmm.
Not too many though. Um, it is set in another area of the town, so it's not set in the same area of the town of Silent Hill 1, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it draws people to it. Like we talked about for the first one, it draws people into it,
Silent
and
Silent Hill has like a mysterious like Bermuda
magic aura.
Triangle like type bullshit where it's like people are just mysteriously drawn to it, and for the most part, it seems like people with
Usually people with horrible backgrounds.
yeah, with like some type of fucked up background or
So
something like
speaking of
that.
fucked up,
Hmm.
James Sutherland, the game pretty much begins with you in a bathroom, setting up that you were drawn to this place because of a note that was sent to you by your dead wife.
Hmm. She says like she's in like Silent Hill, so
Yes.
you come because you're like, how the fuck is my wife alive? And when you finally arrive, like you just find out that it's basically like a ghost town, and there's only like
So,
a few
but
people there.
you meet, yeah, you. Let's talk about those people. So
Hmm.
you meet three primary people. You meet Angela
Actually,
Orozco.
it's four, because you have Angela, Maria, the little
Oh
girl, I
yeah,
forget her
yeah, yeah, yeah.
name, and then you have the
Yeah, we'll
fat
talk
dude.
about that little bitch in a minute. Um, okay,
Bitch. Ah!
so you encounter Angela, who is a teenage runaway, searching for her dead mom. You
Hmm.
have Eddie, who is another teenage runaway, and you have Laura, who is the 8-year-old, and you have what's her face, the other bitch.
Maria,
Yeah, you have Maria.
who is
So
basically
we'll talk about
looks
that later.
just
We'll,
like your wife.
yes, correct. She looks exactly like your dead wife.
Yeah.
In fact, so much that whenever James first sees her, he's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
What the fuck are you, my wife?
Yeah. Um. So, do you want to
Actually,
continue on the story here?
yeah. So basically, for like what would seem like the rest of the video game, you're constantly having moments where it's like James is dealing with James is dealing with like his sins of his past. Like nurses represent his lust, I guess. Um, because what happened is basically his wife, I think, got like ill or some shit, and when she got ill, uh, James was having all these moments because he had pent up sexual desire, and he wanted like I mean any guy who has pent up sexual desire, he wanted sex. I mean like come on. So he looked at the nurses as, you know, like these sexual like whatever.
Yeah,
And
thus is why the nurses have no face but very large
assets.
exaggerated features in other places. They're
Um
very slim,
I
very
think a
very
majority
perky.
a
They got
majority
nice
of like
asses.
enemies actually do have like a very
Oh
sexual
yeah,
type theme to
the
them actually.
the mannequins.
Hmm.
Uh, um, are we gonna go into like side characters and shit like that after we're done with the main
Hmm.
story?
Yeah.
Because especially Angela, because hers is the most fucked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, hold on. Speaking of fucked up, we did say that we were gonna like issue like trigger warnings and stuff like
oh
that. So
yeah,
like, yeah, genuine
if
trigger warning
if you
here. Like
can't
genuine trigger
if you
warning for like sexual assault.
if you cannot handle anything like related to sexual assaults or uh, whatever, just know now that this is the moment where you should be like, hey, all right, see you guys later next year, bye. Um, so basically, what happened is um, you don't mind if I just go straight towards like just bullet straight
The
into the
Angela
ending.
thing.
No, you don't mind if I go bullet straight towards into the ending, right? Or like
Where are we at in the story?
so like basically I was just covering like the enemy designs and like how like they're all like very sexy and shit. Like I
I
was
don't.
about to talk about Pyramid Head.
Um. Okay, so hold on. Let's talk about a little bit of a little bit more of the game because I feel like we're kind of breezing over this one just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so James, first off, James sets out into the town and he discovers, of course, oh, this place kind of a fucking ghost town, huh?
Yeah.
And then he follows the spooky man to this back alley, and then the spooky man tries to shoot smoke on him, and then James gets this wooden thing and beats the fuck out of him, and then James is like, "I am a god." Uh,
I have killed a man.
um, I've ended a life.
My kill count is 2.
So, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Uh, First, James searches a local park where he meets Maria, who strongly resembles Mary, which is James's
Mary?
deceased wife. That was a
I
really good
think
impression.
I
Um,
think just to clarify real quick, the voice acting in the entire game for the English side of things, I don't know
it's
about
purposely
Japanese,
bad. It's
is
purposely bad.
purposely bad. Like it's actually bad. Um, I think for like as much as I can remember, it was made to be bad to sort of get like that current like horror movie or like what was currently what horror movies were like at the time, which was pretty bad in terms of their acting. But uh sorry, I was drinking water. There's like there's the bad acting, and then on top of the bad acting, uh there's like a lot more that is meant to bring it closer to like a normal like modern, you know.
Um, the bad acting for me makes it um, it's not the same. Even with like the redone voices, which aren't bad,
Mhm.
but there's a charm and an exaggeration
Mhm.
about the original
Mary.
that yeah that absolutely is supposed to be as exaggerated as it is.
Yeah. Like I really love the bad acting. Like it's really
Um,
good. But like
s- I was gonna continue talking about Mary, or do you want to continue talking about that?
I'll talk about Mary. So basically what happens is throughout the movie throughout the video game, uh James basically has this constant push and pull between Mary and Maria, almost to this point where I think at some point in the game, like James even goes as far as to say like, "I'll run away with Maria, and me and Maria will, you know, be together or whatever," because she looks like Mary to him, so it feels like he's talking to Mary, just a
Yeah.
slightly more sluttier version. Uh, but as we get further through the game, uh, this is the part where my mind's actually a bit more hazier. But as we get further through the game, it ends up being this constant cycle of Maria dying and then coming back to
Yeah,
life.
I really wanted to cover that.
You can
And
you can take over if you want.
so you watch her die a couple of times throughout the game.
Hmm.
Um, and that's very much symbolism for let's not talk about that yet. Um,
I actually want to talk about a theory after we get done with talking about the story.
so hold on, I gotta. I'm trying to focus on two things at once here, because somebody's
Do
messaging
you
me.
do you want me to like talk about the side characters real quick?
Um, I wanted to wait until we got into that point in the story for that.
Okay.
We can talk about following Lori into the hospital.
Yeah.
Or going into the hospital. Well, so before the hospital, you go to the apartment complexes, which is the first time you see Pyramid Head. The apartment complexes are. You also witness You also witness rape
Yeah.
a couple times.
Pyramid
Let's talk
Head
about that.
is
Let's talk about Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head. Can I say this?
Yes.
Okay. Pyramid Head is supposed to be the, I guess, hidden desires, James. Like when we see him, doing the big unwanted nasty on, I think it was a mannequin, right? It was a mannequin.
Yeah, yeah. It was the two pairs of legs mannequins.
Yeah, when we see him doing the unwanted nasty to the mannequin,
The
uh,
unwanted nasty.
yeah, um,
Forced hugs.
yeah. The forced Netflix and chill.
Blockbuster and Cockbuster.
God. Uh,
Doing the Bill Cosby.
all right, okay. So when we see this happening, basically, this is the hidden desires of James, and he basically, during the time he was sexually repressed, he wanted to do so much that basically this is his fantasy, I guess, in a way, was him finally having sex, getting his sexual desires out. But overall, like, the first time you ever meet him, it seems like Pyramid Head just has this what do you call it, like,
He's
overpowering,
yeah, he's a very overpowering figure.
like,
He's got a big old sword
you
that
can never
he
kill
can
him.
barely. Yeah.
Like, he's just meant to be this overpowering figure that you can never kill or get rid of. And I'll let you take over now.
Okay. Um. So let's go to the hospital. So you fight Pyramid Head, and then you hear a horn. This is actually at the end of the apartments.
Mm-hmm.
You fight Pyramid Head, and then you hear a horn, and then Pyramid Head begins to walk into a giant pit of water and disappear whenever it's very clear that you're not going to win the fight.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, you meet that little bitch Lori.
God, I fucking hate that little cunt.
Okay,
Yeah.
or Laura, my bad. So you follow Laura to the hospital searching for her, and then you still have Maria with you, by the way, but you and Maria get ambushed, and Maria is killed for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's at the end of the hotel, or at the end of the
Apartment.
hospital. A hospital.
Oh, hospital.
But in the hospital, Maria gets sick and has a lie down and disappears after a bit. I
Mm-hmm.
believe, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I can't quite remember if she disappears after you go back into the room looking for her. I
No,
just
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. So she gets sick, and I think you went to go look for medicine or something. or
Yeah,
look for
yeah.
a
Well,
way
no, no,
out.
no. You were just like, oh yeah, yeah, let me go scout ahead or whatever. You have a lie down here, and then
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you come.
you were looking for a way out, and then or like a way forward, and then like when you come back, you just see that she's gone, basically.
Yeah, and then that's the first time the game turns into the nightmare, like the crazy spooky
Mm-hmm.
world. Is in the hospital,
The
which
scum, filth
we didn't
covered,
talk about in the first Silent Hill, which is still really impressive watching the world like kind of
just
change.
changed from like what would
Which
seem like just a regular deserted
despite how
ghost
much
town.
shit we're gonna talk about Homecoming, um, Homecoming does that really, really well. It's still a pretty impressive effect in that game.
Mm-hmm. I think
Okay, from there you go to the hotel. Uh,
I
and this
think
is where we're gonna start talking about side characters.
okay.
Oh, we
So
missed the bowling alley too. Never
yeah,
mind.
the bowling alley is I think where you first meet. It's Eddie, right?
No, that's not the first time you meet him. You meet him in the hotel. He's throwing up after it's very clear he just murdered someone, which is his sin sorta is that he killed someone.
No, he killed a dog. He he killed a dog, and I'm pretty sure this is what it was. He killed a dog, and from then
I remember it
on
being a person, and you come in, you're like, what the fuck? And then he was like, I
to do like violent things, and that's why he killed a person when you met him. Like he originally
yeah.
just killed a dog. That was it.
Um,
Which I mean is still
s-
fucked up, but like
but whenever you meet him in the bowling alley, uh, he's with Laura, and Laura is insulting him and being really mean to him, and he is sitting there stuffing his face with this grody abandoned Ghost City pizza. Um,
makes you wonder where the fuck did he get the fucking pizza?
yeah, I have no clue, but
Shit's probably old as fuck, but like damn.
it was probably pretty bomb. He was eating it, like, damn. But yeah,
He's fat, he can't tell.
you meet those two, and then shit happens. So you wind up going to the hotel after rowing on the boat and trying to find the thing because that's where you discover your wife wanted to meet you because that was the one place you guys met all the time because
Uh
that was in the letter.
One thing I do want to point out is Laura, the little girl, isn't really affected by anything that goes on in the town. She doesn't really have
Nope.
any sin. She's actually just completely innocent. And whenever she like insults someone, she's only insulting them because they're actually bad. Like I don't think she ever insulted Angela, did she?
I don't think her and Angela ever actually met in the story.
Yeah, I don't think they did either. That's why I said she didn't fucking insult her. Um but yeah, no,
Also, insulting Angela would be
a little
hmm.
fucked up, yeah. Um but no, Laura's meant to be this just innocence, I guess. But like innocence with good, not just like pure like naivety and innocence and stuff like that. It's actually meant to just be pure and good and yeah, sinless.
Yeah.
Which makes me
So
believe that she actually lives in the town, which also makes me believe that there is a good side of the town.
let's talk about uh the hotel.
Yeah, before I give
So
conspiracy theorists on everything.
on the way to the hotel, James finds Maria alive and unharmed in a locked room. She claims ignorance of her previous encounter and discusses elements of James's and Mary's past that only Mary would know. James sets off to find a way to free Maria,
Mm-hmm.
but returns to find her dead again. Later on, he rescues Angela from a monster, and she confesses that her father had been sexually abusing her. and a newspaper clipping implies that she killed him in self-defense before coming to Silent Hill. He
Mm-hmm.
also confronts Eddie, who admits to maiming and maiming a bully and killing a dog before fleeing to Silent Hill. When Eddie attacks James, James kills Eddie in self-defense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So the whole Angela thing, I want to talk about her boss arena where you kill the bed monster.
I think Angela, like,
Because so the boss arena is a pretty small room, and on
mm-hmm.
all of the walls there are holes with cylinders pumping like through them,
Mm-hmm.
and you could probably guess what that symbolizes.
Yeah. Um.
Um, her
So
boss arena is also very gross and kind of looks fleshy.
yeah,
It's just very unnerving.
it really, considering the context of what happened, it makes you really like, if you're just a human in general, this will make you like really uncomfortable, and like it'll make you unnerved because it's like just how fucking like awful it is. Because
We are
first
going to
off,
be spoiling Silent Hill 2, by the way. Like,
I think we're gonna spoil a majority of the Silent Hills at this point.
yeah.
We've already spoiled one. Um, like, so pretty much the thing that makes me really sad about Angela is she doesn't really have a sin. She was, yes, she killed her father, but it was in self defense to defend herself from being, sexually assaulted by her father. I'm sure she didn't mean to kill him, but in most cases, sometimes it happens when you just mean to defend yourself that it will happen.
So, since we're on Angela, we're gonna progress just a little bit in the story since this involves Angela and is the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is taken from the wiki, and it says at the hotel, James locates a videotape which depicts him euthanizing his dying wife, which he does.
Yeah.
And we'll get more into some of the symbolism there. Mary's letter becomes a blank piece of paper in another room. A final meeting with Angela sees her giving up on life. Unable to cope with her trauma, she walks into a fire and is never seen again.
Yeah. Makes me
Um,
it makes me sad too cuz she just, I don't think she really deserved that type of shit, but she just, yeah, didn't work out the way.
so we're gonna progress just a little bit. Um, Afterwards, James, this is where you encounter the two pyramid heads. Um,
Yeah.
and you're with Maria, and Maria gets killed again.
Mm-hmm.
James realizes that the Pyramid Head was created because he needs someone to punish him. Um, and all the monsters are, of course, a manifestation of his psyche. That is why Pyramid Head being in everything but Silent Hill 2 is bullshit. Because Pyramid Head was a manifestation of James's memory. Or James's psyche.
Yeah.
So it should have been completely unique to James.
Yeah, I think they just did that as like a, here's like a staple of the series, I
Yeah, well,
guess.
yeah, that's exactly what it became.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why you can get Pyramid Head and Bomberman.
so the envelope from Mary disappears, and both of the pyramid heads commit suicide.
Actually, I don't think it ever disappears. The envelope or the letter, it doesn't ever disappear. What happens is like once you get to that point in the game, the letter actually just becomes a piece of paper. Like it never existed as a
Yeah, yeah,
real
everything goes
letter.
blank.
Yeah. And
Um,
then James questions like, "Why am I even here? Like, why did I
so
come?"
from there, you make your way to. We did skip one major part, which is the museum, I believe. But there's nothing really of like story significance besides like some lore stuff with the sinking boat and a couple of other things. But that's not really too important to what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so James from there he heads to the rooftop for the ending battle, which uh, this is where your choices throughout the game, because there are choices. This is where the choices throughout the game kind of matter. There are six different endings. Um,
And one joke one.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sorry, I burped and like spit and fucking choked myself.
Damn.
Um, he, depending on the choices you make, he encounters either Mary or Maria disguised as her. Um, Silent Hill features six endings. Konami has kept their. I'm not even. You know what? Um, let's just talk about the endings. So, in Leave, James has one last meeting with Mary, reads her letter, and leaves the town with Lori, or with Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Water, sees James commit suicide after driving his car off of a cliff. The Maria ending is uh, the Maria ending sees Mary as the woman on the rooftop who has not forgiven James for killing her. After her defeat, James dismisses her as a hallucination and then leaves the town with an alive Maria. So
Mm-hmm.
that goes back to what you were talking about. Hold on, I need to take a drink.
Yeah. Um, I think the other endings, or one of the other endings that I remember is basically what happens is what was it? It was,
Okay,
I
I'm
think,
better.
actually, you know what? You keep going because I'm fucking, my brain's lost. Holy shit.
Um, so we're on James's hallucination, who briefly,
He left with the
with,
alive Maria.
okay, who briefly coughs, suggesting that she will become sick just as Mary did. Then the cycle will repeat. The other three endings are the only available in replay games, so after you beat the game once, including ending Rebirth, in which James plans to resurrect Mary using an arcane object collected throughout the throughout the game, and two joke endings: the dog and the UFO. Um, so there was a
Fucking look her
side
up.
content thing where you play as Maria called Born
Really?
from a Wish. Yeah, it was called Born from a Wish.
Was that actually released?
Yes, yes, yes. It's in fact it's in the HD collection.
Okay.
Um, it's pretty short, and there's guns that are specific to her character that you can't get
So
in
it's like
any other
Resident
version of the
Evil
game.
2.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't really want to go much into it because there's not really much to go into with
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, that's Silent Hill 2 for the most part, which is my favorite in the series.
Yeah.
Us talking about it could really never do it justice. I just recommend playing the game, even if we spoil it for you.
I
Uh,
think overall, all Silent Hills, you should at least try playing
Not all.
the main series ones. The main series, mine. But I do want to talk about a theory that I actually heard about a while back
Yeah, the
on.
circumcision.
We'll wait on that one.
Yeah,
um,
we're getting there. We're what, one
we're
game away?
getting there. We're like, yeah, we're on three now.
Cause
But
yeah, yeah, I was about to say because we're at the end of two.
so there's a theory that basically Maria, it's like a story of like, I guess, like a Jesus Christ type deal. So basically Mary is like fucking, I don't know, like some type of god or some shit. But Maria is like Jesus constantly being reborn to die for your sin, I guess. I watched a video on this like a while back, so don't take my words for it. But um, basically, the deal is that James just keeps he constantly has this opportunity to leave. He just can leave with Maria, and he can go live his life with Maria and whatever, but he never does. And instead, at one point, Maria, because she's kept dying for him, just gives up. And at this point, she's given up on even trying for James to even like leave with her. And she just goes, and because she's given up, she turns on James and attempts to take freedom for her own life so that she can live. And like that, basically that's the theory, is that she wants to live her own life, but she keeps dying for James because James is just so stubborn about Mary.
James is such a stubborn bitch, isn't he? Fuck James.
Also, he's kind of
James
a
is
cunt because I mean,
yeah, James is kind of a cunt.
he killed his wife. He's actually he is a cunt. He killed his wife.
Well, okay, let's get into that. His wife asks him to kill her.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually,
Uh,
I forgot about that part. Fuck.
She explicitly asks James to fucking suffocate her with a pillow. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess James doesn't technically really do anything wrong, but
he doesn't really have a sin.
I believe he does cheat on his wife.
No, he cheated on his wife. Yeah.
Yeah, he absolutely cheats on his wife. And that's part of his whole guilty. Is that is his sin? Is the whole cheating thing?
Yeah, that's why throughout the entire thing you see Pyramid Head as this overpowering, and like the first
Big
time
dick
you ever
figure.
see him, he just fucking he's like, yeah, I like two legs. You don't got torso, just fine by me. I'm a leg man myself.
I like him leggy.
Spiders? No. Just two pairs of legs? Fuck yeah, let's go. But like that's
I'm
why
surprised there wasn't like that. That's a cool idea for a creature, like a giant fucking spider creature that's made of nothing but legs.
Oh my god, dude, that'd be so fun. I'd fucking piss myself off that. Like, oh my god. We'll talk about that like later. But like, no, like, okay, so that's why throughout like the entire thing, there's like this theme of like Maria basically being there. Like Maria is like this mistress
The fat
that's aside
bitch.
from Mary.
Yeah,
She
pretty,
looks
and
like
she's a slutty Mary.
yeah, that like that's the thing.
She's dressed very sexually provocative.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, whenever you start her campaign, you start in like what appears to be a strip club, like a club room.
Like a nightclub type deal, yeah.
Um,
Do we want to talk about some like the interesting ideas, like, or it's not ideas, but like the stuff that's happened in there, like the James on the TV.
maybe we can save that.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, let's leave some of this out for you know, not telling everything, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess we can move to Silent Hill 3. You said you like Silent Hill 3 a lot, so if you wanna take the reins here.
Let me get my notes on Silent Hill 3 real quick. Yeah, no, so basically the way Silent Hill 3 starts is
You're a girl.
yes, you're a little
For
girl.
You're a teenage girl. Your name is Heather.
The entire
Because
story is
it's-
about why you have your periods.
It's the early 2000s, and we're edgy, so you're this edgy girl named Heather, and Heather... Heather...
I feel like you couldn't have put any more emphasis on fucking.
Yeah, so anyways, your dumb bitch name is Heather.
Okay, okay.
And you start in an amusement park.
Okay, so basically when it starts, you're in this fucking amusement park. I always hate this part of the game because it made me piss myself because I was like, fucking hate amusement parks because the
You can
fucking
you can
clown.
you can literally skip that entire first part if you just walk off the ledge.
I know. All you have to do is die. And I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So like I just kept walking around for 2 minutes and like I hated it so much because I was like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to go onto the roller coaster. I went on the roller coaster. I hated myself even more. Because
And
then
then
I
you get
died.
fucking yeah, I was gonna say, and then you get
You get
fucking
fucking
run.
railed.
You get
Um,
absolutely railed.
so basically, uh, I'm just gonna spoil it right off the bat. 17 years before the start of Silent Hill 3, Harry Mason defeated a god and brought forth by a cult of Silent Hill, and at the ending was given a baby girl to take care of, which ends up being the protagonist for Silent Hill 3, otherwise known as Heather.
Um,
Um,
you definitely jumped way further ahead than I was going to.
Well, like, cause I
Because if
I
we're
had I had this in my notes, and like this was the first thing, cause I don't know why,
if
but
if we're gonna talk about that, then we okay. So let's get out. So after you die in the amusement park, you wake up in a mall
I
because
think yeah you
Heather is a scene girl who hangs out in the mall by herself in a coffee shop with
um
her sleeveless jacket,
okay yeah no all right so
and you get approached by a
she
private investigator.
she wakes up in a burger restaurant
Yeah, and
and
then your dad calls you.
your
He's all like,
dad calls you
"Where are
and
you at?"
he's like, where are you? I'm trying to watch the TV programs, but it's not working.
And then Heather's
um
like, "God damn, boomer dad, I'll be home in a
God,
bit."
I know you're tired of hearing about politics and you're just trying to grill some burgers, but
I
God,
want to
give me
watch
some
my
time.
CNN.
I want to watch NCIS. So she's confronted by Douglas Cartland, the investigator, private detective. Ooh. Claiming to have information about her birth. Heather evades him and is pretty much just running around. I like this little part of the game because it's like it kind of has a little nice little
Um,
bop
so
play.
it's very. Oh yeah, it does. The music in this is really really good.
Um,
Silent Hill 3 has a very standout soundtrack.
mm-hmm. What were
Um,
you gonna say?
it's completely silent. Whenever you go outside, whenever you go to the bathroom to run away from them,
Mm-hmm.
and you go outside, the music cuts completely, and it's completely silent.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it goes completely
In
silent.
fact, once you get into the back rooms, it goes completely silent.
Yeah.
Um,
Um.
and then you encounter weird dog things.
Yeah. So
Wait, is that before or after you walk in on the thing eating that fucking man's face?
this is no. Okay. So the way it happens is you evade him. You get into the bathroom, and once you're in the bathroom, you get the call. You leave the bathroom, and once you leave the bathroom, you see the weird little dog fuckers. And basically, you discover that basically the mall's just been abandoned, and mostly is just infested uh, by monsters. I think to which you I think this is after you encounter the monster. You meet Claudia, who hints that Heather will be instrumental in bringing about paradise on Earth. Um, then Heather, like pretty shortly after, finds herself in the shit realm, the shit covered shit stain of a mall. Um, and there's like just it's monster filled, so much blood everywhere, and it's decaying. Then eventually, she returns to the original shopping mall, where she encounters Douglas again, and he confesses that Claudia had hired him to find Heather. Um, though he pretty much is like, yeah, dude, I don't know anything about this otherworld bullshit or whatever the fuck Claudia's on
It's like,
about.
I don't know what the fuck you're on about, lady.
But Heather, pretty much after this, decides to leave home, or not leave home, leave the mall and go back home. Um, and when she returns to her apartment, where her dad is, um, she finds out that Claudia had murdered
He's a
murdered
big
her.
old stay. He looks like he got fucking smeared on his chair. He was watching CNN. He was like, "Trump, scary," because he dies in front of the TV, and
No,
then he was like,
he just
"Tucker Carlson bad," and then he exploded.
he exploded into shit, staying onto a fucking just a chair. Um, so basically, uh, she kills or Claudia kills Heather's father in revenge and to basically make Heather pissed, so Heather will come after her to kill her. And Claudia is like, "Hey, I'll be waiting for you at Silent Hill at 4 a.m. or 2. I don't know. I'm here."
And then you're all like, "My dad."
My father. Oh fuck! This is just like Star Wars. That's a boomer joke. Um, intent on killing Claudia, Heather goes to Silent Hill and accepts Douglas's offer to drive her there. Um, while heading there, Douglas explains that Vincent, a fellow cultist, told them to look for a man named Leonard, while Heather learns from a memo left by her father that she is the baby left to him. Because Heather is Alessa's. I had to reread that word 3 times. I feel retarded as hell.
That's fine, man. We're all retarded.
Reincarnation. Um, Claudia intends for Heather to basically give birth to the cult's god, which I don't have his name in the notes actually, which makes me kind of sad. I thought I put it in there. And then upon arriving back to Silent Hill, um, Heather eventually finds a transformed Leonard in a local hospital, revealed to be Claudia's abusive father. He attacks Heather after learning that she is not a member of the cult. Um, After Heather defeats him and eventually meets Vincent, who directs
She's
her
all like,
to a
"Vincent, you're a fat bitch."
"You're fat as fuck," uh, who directs her to a church via a local amusement park. This will be very important later on. Um, when when Heather finally arrives at the amusement park, she finds I think it's Douglas, right? Yeah, Douglas. Uh, she finds Douglas wounded, having tried to stop Claudia, and he considers killing Heather to stop the god from being born, but decides against it. Um, Heather then reaches the church, and after Claudia kills Vincent, confronts her. Uh, Heather vomits out the fetal deity.
Yeah.
Oh my god, she's fucking like, she's like, "You killed my boyfriend," and she's like, "Oh fuck, is that a baby?"
Satan.
Uh, oh my god. I forgot I had this part in my notes. Like a fucking dog. uh. God, what the fuck? Like a fucking dog, Claudia immediately eats the baby.
Like a hungry bear.
Like, no, I was making a joke because you know how fucking dogs eat vomit and shit.
Yeah. Like a dog eats the baby.
I'm sorry. Baby cannibalism is no joke, but like,
Hey, put my child down.
in the notes it
What the
says
fuck is in your mouth?
in the notes it says Claudia promptly swallows it, but
She's like a chameleon. She sticks her tongue out and hooks
it's like fucking Yoshi. All you hear is that.
it. She shits it out into a bigger demon.
Oh my god, it is like Yoshi. Oh my god. After she swallows it, she dies after giving birth to the deity.
Never but.
Yeah, so she just Yoshi'd that shit. Except she fucking died at the end. It's a massive egg. Heather then fights and defeats the gods. 3 endings appear in the game. The normal ending, which is the only ending.
I believe one is possessed, and then...
Yeah, no. Normal ending, which is the only ending that you can get on the first playthrough. It sees Heather and Douglas survived, while in the possessed ending, Heather kills Douglas, and in the revenge ending,
So it's not the only ending you can get, it's the only time you can get that ending.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, no, my notes said it's the only ending available on the first playthrough. My bad. Heather kills Douglas in the possessed ending. In the revenge ending, which is a joke ending, accessible by performing a certain in-game actions, Heather reunites with Harry, and Harry orders UFOs to blow up Silent Hill.
So, Silent Hill 4
No,
doesn't take place in Silent Hill, because the canon ending of Silent Hill 3 is UFOs nuke Silent Hill.
No, okay. According to Silent Hill Homecoming, the normal ending is the canon one, as one of Douglas's files can be found in the game. But I wish that was the fucking reason. That would be so fucking good. Oh my god. God. So some interesting little things. Little nice little bits, you know, just little nice little bits. So basically, I think it was. I'm trying to find it. God, dude. Oh, let's talk about the film real quick. The really shitty one. The one I hate.
Revelation?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna go straight to Silent Hill 4.
Well, because this is based off of Silent Hill 3.
Yeah. It's
so
definitely based on Silent Hill 3.
Which is why I hate it. Anyways,
hey, maybe we'll do a movie review. I believe this is on Netflix or some website. Maybe we could totally legally buy this movie and watch it on the hit app Rabbit together.
I don't know if Rabbit even works. We could. Probably
Yeah, Rabbit does work. Rabbit's great.
Okay. Yeah, we could do it. So the film is a sequel to the first installment in the Silent Hill movie series. But the kind of sad thing is, it really sucked. Like, really, really sucked. It was actually my least favorite Silent Hill movie. In the movie, I don't know what it was supposed to be. Like, it's a 2012 movie, obviously, so they have to appeal to the current e-girls with the fact that Heather's like, don't fucking talk to me, bitch. I don't even like any of you.
I'm a moody teen.
I have 4 stages of my period: winter, summer, and Thursday and Friday. Fuck off. That was the entire movie. I hated it. I actually hated it. She was like a rebellious teen, and like it just felt like a boomer wrote it. I
I
really
like
don't know.
Heather. I like Heather as a character.
I like her too. I like her too.
It, just in the game though, because
Yeah, in the
she's
game.
fucking obnoxious in the movie. Uh,
Um, there are some really like good parts of the game though.
there are some really good parts of that movie. Hold on. Some of the effects are pretty really decent, and especially the nurses in the movie are pretty good. So there's
Mhm.
that, but it makes no sense for Pyramid Head to be in the movie. It makes no sense for the nurses to be in the movie. It makes no sense for half the shit to be in the movie because it was all originally like, you know,
So
James's pretty much.
yeah, those all belong to James. So something to just some nice little bits. The representations for fuck for some of the monsters was pretty much like for instance we can look. I don't remember what they're called. The big lugging motherfuckers that have like the bah!
Oh,
arms.
the big, yeah, the one that was eating the man's face in the beginning of
Yeah,
the game. Yeah, the
those
big old fucking ham hands.
those are meant to represent like mall shoppers because she's a moody teen and
Yeah, they have like their hands extend like that because they're
their
like
their
shoppers
hands
carrying
their
bags.
hands look like shoppers carrying bags. And yeah, it pretty much that's all their design is meant to be.
Yeah,
um
such a boomer way to look at things. Look at all these sheep.
they sheeple.
I was about to say, pay attention, sheeple.
um but like some other unique things are, I think, at one point while you're in the scum dimension, uh there's like the
Scum dimension.
while you're in the scum dimension, there's like this moment where it's like you can, I don't remember which room it is, but like you can stand in front of this mirror, and like over time, like the background starts to kind of like just get even worse and scummier, and like it looks like, I guess, like veins are kind of going across it. uh and when that happens, Heather actually dies. I think like there's no way to escape it once it fully happens, which I think is actually really cool, and kind of made me a little piss myself a little when I went absent for a few minutes, and then like I came back and I was like, holy shit, I died, what the fuck.
Um, okay, so I'm guessing we're done with Silent Hill 3.
Yeah, we can
So,
go on to 4.
okay, so 4 is unfortunate. Um, this is where subtitles started for the titles of the game. So this is the first Silent Hill with a name after a number.
I think it was the first main series, or I think it was the only main series one either.
With a name after the number. Yep, it is Silent Hill 4. The Room.
Oh,
I
so
don't
so my bad.
particularly have a lot to say about this game because I don't particularly think it's all that great.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so unlike previous installments, it
It is not in Silent Hill. It
yeah,
takes
and
place in the
in the
fictional
sound
town.
of Ashfield, South Ashfield, and you follow Henry Townshend as he attempts to escape his lockdown apartment during the course of the game.
Henry basically, so Henry's apartment is like this hub world, and for like a majority, or not a majority, like the first half of the game, I guess, uh, pretty much it is your safe haven. Everything's nice and cool, and you got your wall that lets you spy on your girlfriend, who isn't your girlfriend yet, but she doesn't know it. You got the door with a shit ton of chains because God, I'm scared. You got the giant hole in the wall that you just feel the random necessity to just crawl into, and eventually you have the guys coming out of the wall to come fuck you the fuck up.
Okay, so let's talk about that. That is the best part of the game.
Oh no,
Is
it is literally my favorite
all
part of
of
the game too.
all of the first person sections inside of the room are fantastic.
I
Uh, I wish the entire game it wasn't a Silent Hill game. It was just set inside of this room.
like you just have to keep
Because
walking around the room and interacting with things.
yeah, because I have no fucking clue why this is a Silent Hill game.
I think I think I think the I think the cool thing is that like we'll talk about it in a bit, but PT kind of like got my little itch for that because I was like,
Well, since we're going in chronological order, I say we talk about Homecoming, Downport, and then PT.
fuck, I yeah, you're right.
Oh, and Shattered Memories. Shattered Memories after this one.
I haven't really played many of the spin-offs, so that'll be you.
Oh wait, we have Origins. I don't want to talk about Origins because all I know is that you went into the other world by looking into a mirror, and that was kind of cool, but completely goes against the whole like universe of Silent Hill. So we're just not gonna talk about that one. Never mind.
So basically, uh, for the most part, this little hub area is like your best friend. It's like you love it. It's like you always come back to it, and you have a little box where you can store your shit. You're like, hey, I stored my shit in you. I think even at some point, like that storage system does come in handy later on. Um, mm, sorry, I had to belch.
That's fine.
So pretty much, what happens is Henry sees this locked door and he's like, "Well, fuck, I can't get out. Well, better better go spy on my neighbor changing." Yeah, sweet. I gotta go take a piss. He goes in the bathroom. There's a giant hole, and he's like, "All right, well, you know what? Any sensible human being would do.
I'm gonna crawl into
I'm
it.
gonna climb right into that bitch. I'm gonna see what's down there."
I'm not gonna
And
break the window.
I I thought he did something to try it out and
He
see if
did.
it
He
worked.
did. I believe he tried to throw a chair through it, and it wouldn't.
Yeah, that's fucking scary to be honest. Actually,
Um,
like,
it's pretty much a Kikimori simulator,
yeah. So he crawls into the hole, and I think he ends
or
up
not? Is it a Hikikimori? Is a Neat a Hikikimori?
a
Yeah, a Neat is a
hikikomori. Yeah,
Hikikimori. Yeah, yeah, they're the same
the
thing.
shut in. Yeah. Actually, it's funny because Konami described him as an
As
introvert
a
in his late 20s.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
So I think that's what they're going for. Is your character is very isolated.
yeah, he's a very isolated
He's
guy.
an incel. This is leading up to his massacre that he's planning on all
Oh my
womankind.
god, no! Oh my god! Um, I mean,
That's why that Mexican bitch gets beat up later in the game.
he looks
It's
he
just a
looks
representation of his
he
hatred of Mexicans and women.
I think he's like Silent Hill's version of like Elliot Rogers or something because he looks kind of hot, you know. You'd think like during that time he'd get some
Yeah, but
pussy,
then that
but
Mexican chick you find would sleep with him, and he's
his
like, "Oh, I'm
his
just gonna let
his
you die
only
then."
his only chance for sex just fucking dies.
Well, she can live depending on how you play the game, but if she dies, then she's permanently fucking dead.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, no. Well, we'll talk about that in a sec.
which I have opinions about.
Um, so shit, my ear itches. Fuck.
Fuck your
Um,
ear.
I know, right? Let me just cut this shit off. I'm Vincent Van Gogh now. Um, I think I got them wrong. It doesn't matter. Anyways, um,
No, I believe it was Van Gogh that fucking hacked his ear off.
please accept my ear. You will sex it tonight. Um, so, God. Basically, what happens is he crawls into this hole. He ends up in a. Was it a subway? It was a subway, right?
Eat fresh.
Yeah, he
It was a
ran into
subway.
fucking Jared. Jared's like, "Hey," he's like, "God, let me back up."
You want a bite of my footlong?
And for some reason, when he crawls through the hole, he ends up on an
Mid-sex, he's
escalator.
like, wait, you're not 13.
Why do you have a beard? Uh, like for some reason, after he crawls through this hole, he just ends up on an escalator, a massive fucking escalator, mind you. And he ends up going down the escalator, to which he meets Cynthia Velas. God, she sounds like a hoe. Cynthia Velasquez.
Okay, and so
Sorry, any bitch named Cynthia sounds like a hoe to me. Sorry, Cynthia's out there. Um,
I'm not, you're all
so,
hoes.
so pretty much,
Digging our hole deeper.
fuck, we're going down.
We're about to get canceled.
If, yeah,
The
we gotta
Cynthias
cancel
of
you
the
guys.
world are gonna cancel us.
Cancel culture. Great. So basically what happens is he meets Cynthia, and after meeting Cynthia, he takes well, he doesn't really take her. He never took her.
He takes her to the back and beats the shit out of her.
uh
He's like, you get in my way.
she is convinced upon meeting him that this is a dream. Like all of this is a dream. Like none of this is
Correct.
real.
And then
And
she gets fucked up.
which actually, I think, isn't it like it was a dream or something? Like, for them it's a dream, but for him this is like reality because he's actually going into their dreams. Something like that.
Uh,
I,
um,
it doesn't matter.
genuinely don't know enough of about this game to say that. I don't even really, as far as this game goes, I'm kind of unprepared because I don't quite remember how the game ends, any of the endings. Um, I just know that there is a UFO ending.
And we also.
Oh no, there isn't. My bad.
We'll talk about the little lovely.
There's no UFO ending. My bad.
There is no UFO ending, but we'll talk about
Yeah, that's
that
unfortunate.
little favorite theory of ours that we like and we believe very heavily.
Oh. Hey, do you mind if I go? Do you mind if I go grab something? Do you want to take this for a sec?
Yeah, I'll just talk about the story.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm back.
So basically, after this, she's convinced she's dreaming and everything. Something happens, and she's like, "Hey, I need to go to the bathroom. So like, you mind if I, mind if I go to the bathroom? I need to go to the bathroom." And so she goes to the bathroom, and upon that, he stands outside waiting for a good bit because he's a white knight or whatever, and he doesn't hear anything from her. She doesn't come back out after what seems like a good while. He gets attacked by some dogs too, and yeah, he goes in and finds out she's gone, and then he goes looking for her, and then bam, she's dead. She fucking died.
She's fucking dead. So I think I can already assume what part you're on. So are you talking about whenever she gets murked?
Yeah, she gets murked. Like she had like Kool-Aid waiting for like fucking for Henry, but like Henry just took too long and she just went crazy drinking it all. Yeah.
Henry goes home and he's like, "Man, I'm really tired. I'm gonna take a nap."
Yeah. When he wakes up in his apartment, he hears confirmation on the radio, his radio, that she is actually dead. And you can even look outside your window, and if you look to the right, you'll see the subway has a couple of fucking ambulances out there, and she's fucking dead.
Which, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like this game's premise, just not as a Silent Hill.
Yeah, no, it's not.
There is something ultimately very unnerving about the idea of, let's say, you wake up and suddenly your apartment is locked down. And
Like
the
that would
only
be
way to
terrifying.
go, yeah,
And you have no way of contacting anyone.
yeah, and on top of that, there's a hole in your wall that's like you're like, okay, well, I guess there's really nowhere else to go. So you go and you meet someone, you become friends, and then
They just
they
die.
die, and then you wake up and look out your window, and you see that that actually happened.
They are genuinely dead. Yeah.
The
I think
reality that would set in for you.
one of the sadder things is I don't believe that you actually at any point you ever really get like any real detailed like idea about, I guess, some of the characters who have died. Like for example, the only thing that really connects them and makes us understand like why the fuck they're dead is that they live in the apartment. That's pretty much it. They just live in your apartment. Um
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely weak
yeah.
in a lot of ways.
I mean
And
it
I
was
know
by a
you.
different it was by a different group, I think. So,
Let's talk about the Team Silent not being a thing.
yeah, I think it was around Silent Hill 4 that they finally really went and just said, Team Silent, I'm sorry, but it's no longer your job, guys. I think if we look at the composers are still or the composer is still Akira Yamaoka. The writer is Suguru. I'm gonna fucking butcher all these. Artist was Masashi, and the programmer, producer, a producer was Akira Yamaoka, and um, I think director changed, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, it's Suguru Murakoshi,
Yeah,
who is
yeah,
also the writer.
that is a director change. Um,
But
which
it was moved
it's
from the original Team Silent to a whole nother team in general.
yeah. I'm gonna let you take the reins for this one.
For the team?
Nah, just for Silent Hill 4 in general.
Okay. So pretty much after like she's dead, you have other characters who come after, and I can't remember what each zone was. I think one was like a prison. Uh, one was
Yeah,
a prison.
that was the ocean one that I was like, I think I heard something about that being on Toluca Lake, but I don't know if that's actually real or not.
Yeah. You have Jasper Gain, a man fascinated with
Oh
the
no,
paranormal. Huh?
Connor,
What?
we have to cover Silent Hill Homecoming before we do Shattered Memories because Shattered Memories came out a month after Homecoming. Oh wait, no, I think it came out a year.
It still sucks.
Okay, it is a year. It's a year and 1 month. Who I was about to say this makes me really sad.
So a man fascinated
Shit.
with the paranormal and the occult of Silent Hill, Andrew DeSalvo, a former employee of an orphanage run by the uh, Silent Hill cult, and Richie. Okay,
Richie Berwick.
they just fucking combined like just like fucking Henry's Townshend. Richard Braintree, a resident
Braintree.
in Henry's apartment complex.
He's a
So
resident in my brain.
I think it goes. Uh, you go to the orphanage, then you go to the prison, and then after the prison, you go to the apartment. I think that was the order of it. Uh, all of the deaths bear the similarity uh, to the deceased serial killer Walter Sullivan's modus operandi. Um, Henry will find like various diary fragments of his apartment's former occupant, the journalist Joseph, germinating Walter's murder spree. Walter is an orphan who has been led to believe his biological mother was in Henry's apartment. Which this kind of confused me because if he's trying to get revenge on his mom, he's killing guys too who live in the apartment, which doesn't really add up, to be honest.
Y- yeah.
Like, I don't think he got his genders right. No wonder there's a circumcision
Maybe he
theory.
just made. So let's hurry up and get to the ending so we so maybe we can.
Okay, so pretty much at some point, God, okay, so to purify the apartment, Walter, now in an undead state, is attempting to complete a ritual which requires 21 murder. Oh, God, I'm retarded. 21 murders to be committed midway through the game. A child manifestation of Walter interrupts the murder of the intended 20th victim. Aileen, the guy who Henry kind of has a crush on, is kind of like, hey man, I kind of want to tap that. Uh, so she joins Henry in trying to find Joseph, and at the same time, supernatural occurrences begin to manifest in Henry's apartment, which causes the apartment to go from a safe space to like also a place where you really don't want to be because it also kind of hurts you. The two eventually find Joseph's ghost, who then tells them that they have to go find the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future in order to prevent their death. Because yeah, that's not actually what happens. They reveal that Henry is the intended 21st victim, and
Merry
shortly
Christmas, everybody.
shortly after, Henry acquires Walter's umbilical cord, and that is an item you need to kill Walter. Aileen is then sent
Hot.
to Henry's apartment because Henry's gonna not sex her later. Either hoping to get pussy or to stop Walter from completing the ritual, or uh, under what? Oh, either hoping to stop Walter from completing the ritual or under Walter's possession. He finds her with Walter. Oh, Henry finds her with Walter possessed and about to walk into a death trap, and a fight between the two men ensues. There are four possible endings determined by whether or not Aileen survived the fight and on the conditions of Henry's apartment. The 21 Sacraments ending sees Walter and his child manifestation in his apartment, while the radio reveals that Henry and Aileen have died, along with the superintendent Frank Sunderland. I kind of want to. I don't know. Anyways, and
So
several others.
hold on. Frank Sunderland.
Yeah, like that made me
James
stop for a
Sunderland.
minute. Yeah, that's what made me stop for a minute because I was like, they were late. It's actually his brother or some shit. That's why
Right.
they're that's why it's connected to Silent Hill. Um, in Aileen's death, Henry awakens in his apartment and learns from his radio that Aileen has died, to his sorrow. In Mother, Henry escapes from his apartment building and brings flowers to Aileen, who plans to return to the apartment building. His apartment, meanwhile, has become completely possessed. Escape begins similarly to the Mother ending, but Aileen resolves to find a new place to live, and his apartment is not shown to be possessed. There is no UFO joke ending, which really fucking sucks, because I really like those endings, but they just completely got rid of it.
Um. So Silent Hill Homecoming.
Homecoming.
Uh, yeah. So this was developed by Double Helix
Oh wait,
Games.
wait. Before we get to Silent Hill Homecoming, can we talk about the circumcision theory, please?
Oh, yeah, hold
Please.
on, hold on. Silent Hill Homecoming is canceled. Um, yeah, let's talk about the circumcision.
Let's talk about the circumcision. Okay, hold up. I need to pull up the fucking like wiki for this thing because I don't even have this in my notes. So basically, someone actually, you know what, Alden, you take you explain. Alden.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, so so there's this board on the internet. And they were discussing Silent Hill 4 theories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this man on there was vehemently arguing that it's all a metaphor for circumcision. No, this is not a joke. Um, there is evidence, not really. This person believes there is evidence that this game is a giant metaphor for circumcision. And it's fucking ridiculous. Connor, do you have any details on that?
So I'm like trying to fucking find this wiki. Um so
It's so bad, dude.
it's
It's so bad.
so the entire belief is Walter Sullivan is a murderer because of a botched circumcision. In other words, genital mutilation. Um, there's a lot of theories that are really great. Um, like he is the lost brother of Kurt Cobain. Um, Pyramid Head is his father. Um,
That one is way more believable than he's the lost brother of Kurt
I know.
Cobain.
But
Wait, hold on, hold on, hold on. Did you know MCR is getting back together? Or they're having a
Yeah,
reunion?
we'll talk about that later. Let's talk
No, no,
about the
no, no, no.
circumcision.
Hold on.
I know they're
This
having a
is
reunion.
hold on. This is speaking of secret family members. Gerard Way is actually Joe Rogan's cousin.
No fucking way.
Yeah, he talked about it on the podcast with Kevin Smith. Okay, back to
Okay.
circumcision.
God, man, I love this theory so much. This is the most believable theory you've ever heard. And if you believe otherwise, you're fucking wrong. So basically the theory is that why Walter is doing all of these horrible acts is because he's actually got a botched circumcision. When he was being circumcised, he was fucked up. So part of the theory kind of like changes. It really goes like here and there. On one side, the theory's like, hey, yeah, so the reason it's a circumcision is because like in a lot of the areas you see kind of like the skin, like stretched skin type like textures on the walls, on the floor, like towards the end it's really just stretched skin, like like your foreskin, because your foreskin's stretched. I I mean, maybe it's not. I don't know. But
Oh no. I can't tie mine like a sock. Oh no.
um, uh, there's also like
Doesn't look
segments.
like a flattened balloon. Mm.
Shut up. the final boss of the game also looks like a fucked up circumcised penis. I mean, like, come on, guys! If you're not looking at that, then what the fuck is wrong with you? Um, there's like it takes place in the womb of Walter's world. Ghost Walter exists due to his role in enacting out the final six murders. Young Walter is the incarnation of Walter's innocence and is representative of his conscience of some sort, seeing as he's so small and that the adult Walter has basically cast away all of his unnecessary feelings during the entirety of the 21 sacraments. So, yeah, young Walter's role is to fit into place with the other two. I mean, check out the endings in Escape Mother. Ghost Walter and Walter's body and young Walter all die as a result of the ritual failing. Same with the Aileen's death ending. However, during the 21 Sacraments ending, young Walter is finally allowed into the room 302 and the ritual is completed. Hence, he is actually Walter's conscience and his need to stay with his mother. What the fuck? Okay. But, my god. Basically, the end result is everything was because I just dropped my fucking phone. Everything was because of a botched circumcision. Everything was because of a botched circumcision. Meaning, he killed Cynthia, he killed the superintendent, he killed everyone because he got pissed because his penis was fucked up. No other reason.
Weird. Okay,
Oh, hold up. It's... I don't. Here's some words I think from the person who wrote this. It's Alex Shepard.
Yeah, which is hold on, which ties into our next topic, Silent Hill Homecoming, because he is a character in Silent Hill Homecoming.
I don't quite remember the game
character
being a lunatic anti-male genital mutilation rant, so I figured the article should be the same way and removed as such. He had a meltdown about this. This is the meltdown. You're a fucking horrible human being for advocating genital mutilation, and 99% of Americans who advocate mutilating penises are fucking brainwashed morons. Circumcision can have a huge effect and influence on the development of a human being's psyche. It's the truth. What you're trying to do is erase American history and hide the truth. God fucking Christ. Seriously, don't be on the wrong side of history. It's like trying to delete the Holocaust article on Wikipedia saying it's some anti-Holocaust or anti-Nazi rant. That's how brainwashed you sound. And then he goes on and he complains about it more, and yeah. I'm gonna stop there because there's so much I can actually read and I don't want to.
Okay, so Silent Hill Homecoming is a game. It was developed by Double Helix, and it follows the journey of Alex Shepard, a soldier returning from war to his hometown of Shepherd's Glen, where he finds the town in disarray and his younger brother missing.
Was it because of a botched circumcision?
Yes. As he continues to search, he begins to look for his brother.
He looks for his brother's foreskin.
I don't really want to go too much into like the story because it's fucking awful. There are keynotes I would like to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the start of the game, you wake up in a hospital, which is actually pretty decent scene, but it's literally just the opening scene of Jacob's Ladder. where he's being rolled through the hospital and he's seeing all this horrible shit. It's literally just that.
Yeah.
Um, so you wake up again and you get home, da 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 da. You find out that your brother's missing, so you go find him. Your mother's all fucking drugged out and weird. Uh, so this game focuses heavy on this whole cult and sacrificing children thing. And it also has Pyramid Head in it, which, as you would have known, makes no fucking sense. But
Like, it makes. I miss the idea that like all the monsters are exclusive to like their victim. Like everyone sees a different thing. Like that really makes more sense.
and one thing that's disturbing to me is
Mhm.
that this game generally got a B.
Mhm.
It got 6 out of 10s, 3 out of 5s. The lowest I've seen is a 3 out of 5, which is disgusting because this game is easily a 2 out of 10. Um, this game botches what Silent Hill should be.
Mhm.
It's unfun. The combat doesn't fit Silent Hill. The characters are bland. The story makes no fucking sense. It introduces this whole cult thing that, yeah, I was in it before, but where did this whole child sacrifice come from? How come the fog has to be caused by some coal mines? Why is it an Indian reservation? What is going on? Why
Okay,
does this
I have
exist?
never played this, and like the moment you said fucking coal mine, I was like, oh, that sounds understandable, kind of. And then you say Indian reservation, and now I'm like, oh, fucking what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, what the actual fuck? Continue, anyways. The fucking god, that broke my brain. Good.
Yeah, it's not very good, man. Um, yeah, Silent Hill Homecoming. Okay, so let's talk about the good Silent Hill. Um,
We just fucking drop it completely. Holy shit.
yeah, I don't, I just, I
Homecoming.
have, I have so much to say, and we have so little time left because we've been going for almost 3 hours. So,
Oh my god, dude.
so let's go into Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, which is basically a retelling of the first game,
Uh huh.
but you run away from all the monsters for one, and it's very snowy, and the game has a snow theme. Um,
Yeah.
it's really good, and there are parts where you're doing psychological evaluations and shit, and depending on what you answer, the monsters will change depending on that.
Mhm.
The monsters are called hold on, I actually gotta find the name. I completely forgot the name. This was a Wii game, by the way. It was only on the Wii. Uh, why can't I find the name of the monsters? I think they were called like Raw Shacks or some shit like that. Like they have like this disgusting fucking name.
It sounds
Uh,
like a gut wrenching fucking name.
yeah, I
Raw
can't.
Shack.
For some reason, I cannot find the name of the monsters. Give me
It's
one
Homecoming,
second.
right?
No, this is Shattered Memories, the good Wii one.
Okay. Shattered Memories. Yeah, I got it. Shattered Memories. Yeah, it's Raw Shock.
Yeah, Raw Shock. Yeah, they're fucking disgusting. But the world transitions. Whenever the world transitions into the hell, it becomes very icy. Uh, this game primarily focuses on um, loss, themes of loss. I
Yeah.
don't. I guess I'll spoil the ending. It's really worth picking up and playing. In the end, you're playing Harry. Uh, you find out that the psychological evaluations has been Sherry. You were Sherry the entire time in the psychological evaluations, and your dad is dead, and you're in there trying to overcome your father's passing.
Hmm.
Pretty much. Um, it's a really, really good game, and I think it doesn't get enough love. Uh, yeah, it's one of those games that nobody talks about, but it was great. I feel like everybody should play it, especially if you're a Silent Hill fan. Even if you're not, and you want a different take of like the first game, it's it's worth playing.
Yeah.
And it was received somehow lower. It has lower scores in some, like Gamer Pro gave it a 2.5 out of 5. One Up who gave One Up who gave, what was the last one? Fucking Homecoming. He
Hmm.
gave Homecoming. They gave Homecoming a B. They gave this one a C plus.
Ugh. I like the idea that you can customize like the monsters, I guess. Like it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah. It's
really.
Oh, and there's one part where you have to paint your house in whatever color you paint your house in the picture. It's that color whenever Harry shows up to it. If you choose, like I was a very slutty person in high school, then the cop, you meet the cop in a bar instead of a restaurant, and she's super slutty. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah, it's just a bunch of really cool shit like that. It's totally worth playing, and that's really all I have to say about it. There's joke endings. I believe there's a joke ending.
Huh.
But whatever. So we're on our last one, which is Downpour. Um, we're gonna go over Downpour really quick, like
Yeah, we
really
have like
quick.
PT left.
Um, Silent Hill Downpour was developed by Vatra Games and was published by Konami, of course. It was set in 2012, and you play a dude who was put in prison for murder, I believe.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was murder.
and it's just okay. A Murphy. Your character's name is Murphy. It's okay. The combat is not my favorite, but I like the open world aspect of Silent Hill itself throughout the game, and I like the whole idea of doing side quests. I thought added a bit more depth to the little layout and land of that Silent Hill.
All right.
Um, so let's talk about PT.
I fucking love PT.
Okay.
I I think if we're gonna call it a Silent Hill, I think it's the best Silent Hill.
So is it a Silent Hill though?
It's a trailer for Silent Hill, but it's not. It's not a Silent Hill, but it's also a Silent Hill. Basically, to give you an idea of what happens in PT, uh, the entire story is that you wake up, you're in limbo, and basically the moment from when you wake up, you're pretty much being watched, and the main antagonist is this. I I don't know if it's like distorted. I guess it's kind of she is kind of distorted now. But she was a mother who I believe was working a second job, and when she was working the second job, her or not working a second job, she was working a job because her husband wasn't bringing enough money, and she was trying to get money so that they could take care of the family. Some things happened, and she was kind of sleeping with her boss. Um, and I think she got pregnant by the boss, right? Anyways,
Yeah.
she gets pregnant. The dad finds out, or the father of the family finds out, and he gets like pissed, and he just kills everyone. Kills her, kills the baby, kills the fucking kids, all of that. And it ends up basically being like, I don't know necessarily if you were the father of that family, but you have to go through the game. And I think this game was like literally the biggest cultural phenomenon of 2014. Like,
Oh God, yeah.
of
It came out of it
2014,
came out of nowhere, which we'll talk about a little later.
it was out of nowhere. It's completely free. Nobody knew what it was. Hell,
And it was mysterious and cryptic.
When you started it up, like all you got was like this stock image of like what looked like a fucking like overgrown graveyard, and that was it. You didn't know, and people just picked it up because they thought like, oh, whatever, it's a cool game, I'll play it, whatever, blah. And the moment like everybody started playing it and they got stuck, they wanted to find out what's going on because it looks amazing. And like it got to the point where people are like, oh, in order to do this you have to do this, in order to like get further into the game you have to like do this exact thing. Like I think at one point someone even said
you have to get on
say
your
a
knees
name. You have to get on your knees and suck and blow.
But not for now. It's time to go.
Like you have to get a headset, like your actual headset, and then you need to say a specific name in game like 3 or 4 times.
Faggot bitch morphia. Faggot bitch morphia.
Faggot bitch morphia. Like you need to do all this shit, and it's like, okay, like wow, fucking this is really big. Like everybody's going crazy. Nobody knows what this is, and then someone finally figures it out, and the moment they figured it out, all you see is Norman fucking Reedus just turn, look at the fucking whatever's behind him, and then start walking away, and then bam, Silent Hills.
Let's specify really quick. We said the naughty F word. Neither of us dislike gay people, by the way. We have gay friends. We're very LGBTQ
I feel
friendly.
Yeah. We love. Okay, we will say some very like offensive things every now and then.
Yes, God. Yeah.
Like we can't help it, but just understand, like, never would we.
Like this one is especially live, so it's kind of like just.
We would never mean
flowing.
it. We would never.
Oh
mean
God,
it
yeah,
like
no. I would never
like,
say it in like a really fucked up way.
And I
Never.
mean, you can complain. You can say like, oh, it's
absolutely.
Very rude
You can
that
say
you would say that.
we can't say that.
But understand
if I say it in my private life, I'm not gonna like hold it back from my internet persona, I guess, because that's what it is. It's kind of an internet persona. I don't like. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But I do want to talk about some kind of unique things about PT.
Yeah, PT has a lot of unique things about it, actually.
I think PT is by far like one of the most amazing games. Not only because it wasn't one of those games that like everyone knew everything about it when it came out. It was kind of one of those things that like you only found out by word of mouth.
Yeah,
for like the moment it was out.
We just figured out that there was coding that that bitch, the chick, follows you the entire demo.
Yeah,
the entire game.
That's the scariest part. Just imagining like
she's always there,
always behind you, and you can't turn around and just see her. No, she's always behind you, always.
Yeah, that's
not making a noise
thing.
And just following you, and it's so fucking terrifying. But it makes it so crazy because it's like no wonder you feel like you're being watched. She's always fucking behind you.
Which just goes to show that Kojima should be allowed to make a horror game, like a straight horror game. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I wonder how much horror we're gonna get in Death Stranding.
I don't think we'll get too much. Like, I
I
mean,
don't
it
know,
is an
man. They're kind of.
action game.
It's not an action game. It's a Strand game.
Shut up, you Stranding. Anyways,
That's what Kojima said. He was like, "It's a Strandu." And everybody was like, "Okay, Kojima,
Stranding.
whatever you say."
Like, I think for the most part, Kojima is a very talented and very, very great, like, designer, I guess. And a lot of the games he's designed have always been like, I've gotten fucking scared by Metal Gear. Like, I shit you not. The moment, like, I was playing, like, Metal Gear at one of my friend's house, and I think it was Metal Gear Solid, like, the first one, where, like, you fight Mantis and he starts reading off, like, the shit on the fucking game card or whatever. That shit scared me. And then, like, you're playing, like, Metal Gear Solid 2 and, like, they're like, turn the game off. All of that, like, actually scared me because it's like, I felt like I was being, the game was interacting with me. And when, like, I found out that Lisa was behind me the entire time I was playing PT, it's like the most terrifying thing to me because it feels like I'm not just being watched by like a foreign presence. It's that presence is behind me at all times. I'm terrified by it. And you can even see that at certain points Lisa even casts a fucking shadow, which
Yeah,
I thought was like, okay, that's fucking terrifying. Like, so much of the like stuff that's going on in there is just crazy. And like, I think to this day, like, one of the lines that scares me the most is like that fucking dad was such a drag.
there's
Like,
something that about the delivery of that line that is very uncomfortable to me.
like I shit you not, I played fucking what was it, Metal Gear Solid 5 like a few weeks ago. And in Metal Gear Solid 5 you get onto this mission, and I'm just being honest, like, Kojima's a fucking god. Like, he makes some amazing shit, and when he did this, he knew what he was fucking doing.
Oh God, yeah.
He knew since he was making Metal Gear Solid 5 that he was getting ready to leave. Like, he has in Metal Gear Solid 5 there's a mission and you have to go rescue this guy, and you're in the jungle, and at one point you can pass by a radio, and at this radio will say dad was such a drag and give the entire line in its entirety, and it's so terrifying that I was like actually uncomfortable while I was doing this. Like, while I was playing the game, I just heard dad was such a drag and had like shivers up and down like my body. It was
Yeah,
that terrifying.
it's so good, dude.
Like, not only because it's like the line, but like it just associated like the memory of like seeing, I'm calling her Lisa because I think that's her name. Seeing Lisa just looking down at me from like wherever she was. Like, God, I don't want to make an entire like just moment of talking about Kojima and what he's done, but like, guy's like a genius. He's known he was leaving Konami, and he was like making everyone aware of it. We just didn't know it yet. I think the sad thing we want to say is PT was never actually meant to become a game. Like,
No, okay, so I don't know if it's a theory or if it's been confirmed, but the word is that Kojima pretty much put together a team of people to make PT under Konami's nose. He talked to Sony to set up a thing, and Sony was like, "Okay, we'll do this." So they released PT under Konami's nose with Sony knowing that it was under Konami's nose, by the way.
mm-hmm.
And I believe that was all a scheme for
Because they knew after
Kojima to get himself fired.
they knew that like afterwards, like Kojima would go to Sony. Like, I think this is fucking like ingenious. Which I'm actually sad because I did hear that when they were talking about Silent Hills, at one point Junji Ito, both me and Alden's favorite like horror, I guess, author artist, was actually on board to do the art for Silent Hills. It's
Yes,
kind of makes me wonder if he's still on board doing the stuff with Death Stranding, but we'll only
probably
find out.
not, but that would be really cool.
Yeah. But no, like Kojima, like there's a lot of things saying like Kojima made PT as a message to not only say I'm leaving Konami, like I'm done with Konami, but
Yeah.
as a way to say like, yeah, this is what could have happened, but because of Konami, it's not going to happen. So take it in while you can, and then they removed it off the store, even though they saw
Oh,
how
and
well it
now
did.
and now they released a patch so that people who have it can't play it.
Yep, which is bullshit.
So, fuck Konami.
But but I want to talk about some very cool people, some very cash money individuals. Um,
Okay, this is a surprise to me because all right.
there are some people out there who have seen what Kojima did, and they have decided to take the idea of what happened with what happened with PT, and they kind of expanded on it. Um, which then Konami kind of got pissed at them because it kind of seemed like they were copying it. So they changed it, and I'm pretty sure these are the same people. We're talking about the people behind my new favorite game that I like keeping up with, Visage or Visage. Um,
Wasn't that canceled at some point and then
no, it was canceled and then brought back. Um,
yeah, I haven't heard anything else from it since it got canceled.
Actually, they
Uh,
just released a new chapter for it like a few months, or not a few months. It was like last year, I think, actually. Um, they're like sort of updating it day by, or not day by day, every few months. Um, but originally it was canceled, and then they brought it back as a new project known as Visage. It's really good. I feel like it does kind of what PT tried doing. Um, and aside from that, like there's Lost in Vivo, which feels like Silent Hill 1. If Silent Hill 1 had like a much more um, first person style and was centralized all within a sewer underground facility
and you're looking for your
and
dog.
subway. Yeah, and you're looking for your dog. Cute
It's
ass
about
fucking
finding a
corgi.
yeah, it's about finding a pupper.
Who doesn't want to find a pupper? I do.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
find a pupper.
but yeah, no. Those are really like just two really great games. I believe you can find. Oh, it's by Sad Square Studio, so
Yep.
they're really great. It is actually on PlayStation 4, or it's coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It is on PC. You can get it for about $20, maybe even less. Um, oh,
Use code GamerGirl.
it was Allison Road, was the uh, spiritual successor
Oh
to
yeah, yeah, that's
PT.
the one that got canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
Um,
had a lot of promise. And it's unfortunate what happened. But uh I look forward to seeing more, especially from games like The Beast Within recently.
I've actually watched. I don't remember who I watched
That
play.
probably Jesse Cox. I remember whenever Jesse did it.
Um, no, I think it was someone else. I can't remember who. I'll have to go check it later. But yeah, no. Like there's been a lot of really good horror games as of late. I'm really excited to see like what's coming out. Like I think we're both really like we both love horror, so seeing like
Yeah.
new horror games get released and seeing what comes out. It's kind of exciting. Sometimes you get shit, but sometimes you get really good games, just like PT. I mean, it looked like shit at the moment I saw that free price tag, but play it and it's 100 times better.
And then you see the background, you're like, why is this just some Photoshop of like a stock green forest photo?
Why is it an overtaken like graveyard with PT in scary letters? Yeah,
Yeah, and then you played it and it's really good.
yeah.
Okay, so I think we've probably reached the
Well,
ending. I
this is
don't
the end of the
we've
podcast.
Yeah, I don't. There's not really much more to go over.
It was a really long like podcast, but
Yeah, I'm tired. I have work tomorrow. I'm ready to go to
my
bed.
throat hurts.
Same.
um, but thank you for tuning in. And we all hope that, or we both hope that you guys have a wonderful Halloween night. Stay safe and make sure to check your candy for giant bottles of bleach because that's a very, very bad choking hazard for your kids.
We have shilling to do.
We do. We do.
Okay, so our official Instagram, which we haven't really posted on yet, but more to come soon.
We post on our story about every I guess updated
podcast.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Official Amityville podcast so at official underscore Amityville _podcast on Instagram, and on Twitter we are I believe it's just official Amityville podcast.
On Twitter.
It's Amityville cast on Twitter.
Yeah.
I have a Twitch channel. It is www.twitch.tv/Mittensama, MITTENSAMA. It's your
Good.
turn.
Okay. We do have a gaming, I guess, Twitch where we will be streaming. We might even upload
YouTube.
some of. Yeah, YouTube. My bad. We will be uploading some of our streams, and we'll be making sure to be doing Death Stranding when it comes out.
And then Outer Worlds, probably.
And then Outer Worlds, yeah. Typically, the way it's going to be going is we'll do like 2 small games, just 2 little games.
1 big game and then 1 small game.
Yeah, 1 big game, 1 small game, or 2 little games until like we see something interesting come out. We do have Death Stranding lined up, and then after Death Stranding, then we'll do what is it? Outer Worlds. I paused for a minute there. We'll be doing Outer Worlds afterwards, and should pretty much be for that remainder. It might not just be the both of us. It might be some other people sometimes. For I think a good while, we'll probably just be having fun. So, yeah. I don't really have anything else major to shill out. Don't really care about my social media that much.
There probably won't be another episode for a little bit.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a big point.
Well, no. There'll be an episode 1 before you move. We might even, didn't we talk about like maybe recording them all at once, and then releasing them throughout the month?
Yeah, that'll probably hurt my voice a little, but yeah. We will be. I will be going through a move. To Wisconsin pretty soon. And so once this move has happened, it'll take me a bit to settle in. We might be doing some of these streams though.
And more than likely with that, the Death Stranding stuff is going to be put on hold. If not, I might start maybe side content.
Yeah. We'll make sure to keep updated. I think we may want to make a couple of social media accounts for our gaming side of things. Mind you, the gaming channel won't be based off of actually horror only. It'll be a bunch of stuff, obviously, with Outer Worlds on our roster. But
Yeah. I was even thinking about Hotline Miami
yeah,
for one of the small games.
absolutely. Um, but yeah, no, that's it. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast, and good luck on No Nut November, and happy Halloween.
I ain't participating.
Plant a tree for every video watched.